Hello, patrons, it's me, the weirdo. Today is a show day, or a gig day. I don't really have shows so much anymore. It's currently 1:31 in the afternoon, and as you can see, I'm still in my pajamas. I was trying to be kind to myself. I stayed up late doing some writing. Hi! Another reason for staying in bed super late, because he gets all cuddly. Brewed my tea. I'm just gonna walk you through the process of a gig day. Playing in 3.5 hours. Good morning. Time to make breakfast. Here I am. It's about half an hour drive. Wish me luck. I'm going to warm up while I'm in the vehicle. Woohoo! Ha! 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 The tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips. Just pulled into the parking lot, scored a great parking spot, and I have to pee so bad. So I'm gonna run in, and then I'm gonna start unloading, and then we're gonna put on a little gig for the people having dinner. Well, I just finished this here gig. It is 9 o'clock and I have had an evening. Let me tell you about it. So, I get to the place and I'm in a super good mood because some of my favorite people work there and I really enjoy the atmosphere. 8 times out of 10. Loading all my stuff, set up, feeling good, and 5 minutes before go time, I'm sound checking and my stuff, nothing's coming out of the speaker. And so I start checking chords and I make sure the connections are good and make sure everything's plugged in. And then I notice that the lights on my looper aren't on, my loop station. For me and the intensity and frequency at which I need to gig to make a living, I cannot be actually singing for a full 3 hours every day. It's a huge strain on my body, and so looping is actually really essential. It helps me rest my voice a bit and incorporate instrumental pieces that also make the performance more engaging. And without the looper, I'm looking at 3 hours of really intense vocal work, and it's at the tail end of a few weeks of vocal strain. So my lights on my looper aren't on. And I go check the power supply, and I have it right here. I'll show you. The power supply looks like, hang on, looks like this. There's all these wires coming out of it. It is done. It's donezo. And I'm like, oh my God. So I got on the phone with Guitar Center and I asked them to put one aside for me. And by the way, my loop station is made in Australia. They don't have the power supplies for this specific instrument at Guitar Center, but I was like, maybe we can make this work. And so I told them what I had, and they said they have it, and they put it aside for me. And I was planning on maybe getting it on my break, and then the lights on my looper miraculously came on, and I was able to do the show. And I came here and I spent $41 to get this guy, which came with all these different adapters, and one of those 7 adapters works. Thank goodness. But the very high intensity panic of trying to figure it out at the last second, right when I had to go play, was enough to set me way off balance for the entire gig. I think I would have recovered a little bit better if I was able to perform comfortably, but the nature of the place that I play at this particular venue is I have my speaker, and then I plug that speaker into their wall and they pipe it out of their speakers. But my PA, which should be, like, in which case it should be I should be able to use my PA as a monitor, except that my vocal processor setup feeds back really easily if there's any speaker close to the microphone, and especially behind it. So I have to have my PA in front of me, and if it's not super loud, or if it's not like at just a decent volume that I can hear, I can't hear myself, and I start freaking out and getting this crazy cognitive dissonance. And I kept getting asked to turn down. So I did. And I was having like blood sugar issues, or my blood sugar was super low because I was on the phone with Guitar Center instead of eating my pre-show snack because I have hypoglycemia, and that's not fun for anybody. Yeah. So I tried really hard to calm down throughout the set and throughout my breaks, and I just couldn't reset. But that's the job, and that's part of just living with anxiety, is you just kind of have to deal with it and do it anyway, even though you can sort of feel it in your body, just sort of breaking down your cells and causing you damage later. It's like there's not a whole lot that I can do. But long story short, everything is fine, and everything will be fine, and I will try this when I get home. I'll plug it in and hope that it's the right power supply, and if it's not, I will try and figure something else out. Stand by.